I don't understand why y'all be wanting me to get on these cameras late at night. Nothing good happens late at night, y'all. Yo, what's up, everybody? It's Mr. Locker Room coming to you today with Proverbs 10 for our Proverbs a day for the month of May, you guys. Right off the bat, you guys, if you like the content that we're spitting out here at thelockerroom.com, go ahead and give us a subscribe, a nice little push on that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so that way you can continue getting notified of when we're posting things here on our YouTube channel. Go ahead and follow us as well, and then check us out on all of our social media at LCKERROOM, LCKERROOM. Let's dive right into it, you guys. So, this particular Proverbs, what I got out of it the most is that there's a lot going on with what people are saying, particularly the difference between a wise person's mouth and a foolish person's mouth. And like, wise people don't normally say a whole lot of crap, and I'm going to use that word. You can fill it in whatever you want to use. But the foolish people and people who just are about nothing and not really planning to do anything, really, they're not out there trying to prepare for a harvest. They're sleeping during the time of harvest. Talks about a good son is ready and out in the fields during the summer, and a not so wise son is sleeping during the time of the harvest. He's like, how can you go and gather the harvest if you're asleep? You guys, we talked about that, about being lazy and a sluggard, and it continues that whole theme throughout the Proverbs, and at least in this section of Proverbs when we see in Proverbs 10. But one thing that really stood out for me is here, it talks about how in verse 14 it says, wise people store up knowledge, but the mouth of the foolish ruin is at hand. The rich person's wealth is his fortress. The ruin of the poor is their poverty. The wages of the righteous is life. The income of the wicked, punishment. You guys. So you feel like if somebody's out saying, it's like, I'm always being punished, I would be careful about that, because maybe that's just your perspective. It just talks about it too, and it could be, you might find yourself into where seems like a lot of bad things are happening to you. I would check the environment, check what's going on. It may not necessarily be something that you're doing. It just might be what's going on around you, and you might just need to get away from that situation or get out of it. Then I'm going to tell you now, I don't know your circumstance or your situation, so I'm not going to even pretend to act like I know. But I will say this, there's always a way to make a better choice. There's always a way to make a better choice. We may not be able to see it, but if we allow ourselves to pull back and maybe listen to some people around us who can see what we can't see, because we all have blind spots. I have blind spots. Like right now, I can't see what's going on behind me. That's a blind spot for me. Now, somebody that's off to the side, or to the left or the right of me, they can say, hey, yo, Mr. Lockroom, this is happening over here and stuff. And I'm like, oh, thank you for letting me know. Thank you for letting me know. I didn't see that going on. I wasn't paying attention to that. It could be that you have some things going on in your life or around you in your environment, or you're hanging out with some people, or you're in some situations that you don't really know is not good for you. And other people can be like, yo, that's not a good place for you to be. That is not a good way to be thinking. And we see here that in verse 24, it says, what the wicked fears will come upon him. So whatever you're thinking about, you guys, that stuff is going to show up, because we see here, and this is not talked about in this Proverbs, but it says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is that person going to be. If you think you're worthless, you're going to start acting worthless, and you're going to start demonstrating to other people that you're worthless. Your work is going to demonstrate that. Your speech, everything is going to start demonstrating how you feel and think about yourself. If you think that you are worthy, you think that you are deserving of it, and you think that you are confident and start being that confident person, it's going to come through in everything that you do. So you have to change this. People want to change their environment. Your environment may have influenced this, but this will cause you to change your environment. It never fails. Time after time after time, you see wealthy people who were in prison and they turned their life around. And you see people that were in the worst neighborhoods and they turned their life around because this changed. Not because they changed their environment, this changed, and this caused them to change their environment and caused them to pursue after a different type of lifestyle, a different type of excellence, a different type of standard than where they were. They determined that that's not going to be me, and they held on to that. They didn't just give in to their circumstances. These principles these proverbs that we're reading, these are principles that anybody can employ. Anybody can employ these and see the fruit of these principles. It doesn't matter what your circumstances are. Most people say, well, you don't quite understand. You guys, principles are going to work. Principles are going to work. It doesn't matter who, what, where, how, when. Principles are going to work. That's why they're principles. It's like your circumstances are different from my circumstances and vice versa, but those circumstances are temporary. They're short term. Principles are long term. They are the end game plan. They are what's going to last from now until the cows come home, or wherever, maybe for you, you're a farmer, the cows might be coming home in life. Already there. But that's not the point. The point is principles are long lasting, and we see these principles in these proverbs. You don't have to be a religious person, you don't have to be a believer. Just apply the principles that you're seeing here, because wisdom is wisdom, you guys. You can hear wisdom from somebody from some of the most unpredictable sources. I've heard people say some things I never thought that I would hear from people. I was like, you know what, you said something right there, and it's my fault for not thinking that that person should be able to say something like that. Maybe I prejudged, or maybe that has happened. People have prejudged me. I may have prejudged some people on this show. I don't know. You have to let me know. It's like you have to just clearly communicate it. I try and clearly communicate it as well. These principles are very clear. Solomon wasn't playing, you guys. So I just encourage you all to just dive into these proverbs. This is Proverbs 10. Mostly what it's talking about is your mouth. You guys, watch what you're saying out here. It's like, watch what you are saying out here, because wise people don't be running their mouth. Wise people are not out here running their lips. Foolish people out here trying to get people to listen to them because they feel like they got something to say. They're trying to prove a point. A wise person don't have to prove a point. They know who they are. If you're a wise person, you don't have to say, okay, I'll show you. No, you don't have to go and prove anything. You know who you are. You know what you believe. You know your standard. A foolish person is going to be out here, they're trying to win everybody's attention, trying to say, hey, yo, you should listen to me because I'm blah, 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 blah. If you have to tell people who you are, if you have to constantly get in people's faces so that they know who you are, that's not wisdom. That's foolish behavior, you guys. That's why you see people, when people start running their mouth, they start to get quiet. Not because they're backing down, it's because they know who they are, and they're not about to stoop to that level. They're not about to stoop to that whatever it is that other person is doing. So don't come down from that place. Don't be on your high horse either, because pride comes before a fall. So you want to know who you are, and then just watch what you say, because you don't have to say, if you know who you are and you're a wise person, you don't have to say much of anything, because you will bear the fruit of that wisdom in everything you do. You guys, so go ahead, click the subscribe button. Go ahead and give us a like on our social medias as well. Follow and tag us, you guys. Let us know if this stuff is helping you. Go and click the link in the description below, so that way you can be a part of our private Facebook group for the Locker Room Talk on Facebook. You guys, we are trying to do some things. We're not trying, we're doing some new things here. You're going to be seeing a lot more content, you guys. This is my time. I'm Mr. Locker Room. Thank you all so much for your support. Remember, truth, life, live. Peace out. Everybody should be in the bed. Why y'all still up? Don't question me while I'm still up. I'm producing movies. I'm doing stuff. Why you still up? Go to bed.